Today we're going to take a look at Anna Maria Island and Lido. Its information's been very scant on Longboat because you can only get to Longboat through Anna Maria or Lido. You have to go over those bridges to get out of Longboat. It's kind of cut off from the mainland and you can only access above and below. So we don't have a lot of footage from Longboat, but we do have some footage from Lido, from St. Armand's Circle area, and from Bradenton Beach itself. If I look a little tired, that's because I am. It's been a busy, well, a week now. I mean, between preparation, going through, and starting to get around and seeing what's going on around the area and other places. So I'm going to give you some footage here of updates from Anna Maria Island and from the governor's press conference yesterday from Anna Maria Island. He was actually out there at Bradenton Beach, and I've got some aerial footage and some footage that was shown by one of our county commissioners and a few other news sources. I'm going to just put all this together to give you the full picture kind of what's going on around here. As a quick update, the barrier islands are barely reopened right now, only to residents with a reentry tag or business owners that are out there. They're not even letting contractors in yet. So just, it's going to be a little while before I can show you the beaches properly. A few more days anyway, but that will come. And in the meantime, this is why I can't get out to the beaches. All right, what we're looking at here is from the Sarasota Police Department. This is aerial drone footage they got the morning after, and that is St. Armand's Circle there in the middle. And you see those two buildings kind of like off to the left in the back. They're like a cream colored with the dark thing on them. That's where I go shelling at North Lido, guys. That's the beach that I go to all the time. I have to pass right through St. Armand's Circle to get to those beaches, which unfortunately those things are still closed off right now and we can't go get a look. But that kind of gives you your bearings a little bit at what you're looking at. This is St. Armand's Circle and Lido Key. And this is a result of storm surge here. This is what happens when the ocean comes up and rushes in. You get this effect that piles up debris everywhere and puts water all over the place, necessitating water rescues later on down the line. Okay, we're in Tropic Isles, which is not on the Gulf, but over here on the river. And we've got to go check on some stuff because there's piles of stuff people have dragged out to the street already. Carpet and furniture, and see how bad this got flooded over here next.
That's really bad. Wastewater plant.
Yeah. We're open. Oh my gosh, that pond is so full. Look at that. Oh my gosh, the guys from Pike Electric are in here. There's carports missing. There's the back of that carport in their yard. Oh my gosh. And that's got way more water in it than it's supposed to have.
You see the water line.
The water line is the fence. Look at the debris in the fence.
Above the fence.
Everything got wet. It topped over the pond, I bet you. And we're on the Manatee River. We're not on the Gulf. We're on the Manatee River now. Well, we're not underwater. That's a good sign. Hope these folks don't have too much damage. They're so nice. And John loves working for them. He says he really hopes he doesn't have to tell anybody that their place needs to be gutted. I'm trying to look at the other houses to see where the water line got to. And it's difficult to tell. On this blue one back here, it's like up on the second panel of the siding. And this metal stuff, guys, that's one of the things that you have to do around here in Florida by the coast. They don't want you blocking off water because you will get knocked off your foundation. Let the water just flow right through, right under. Rain all morning long. There's some of the last tail end of the feeder bands from Helene, and then she's gone, and she can't get out of here soon enough. What a witch.
got moved.
Stairs got moved. The freezer that was in there got flipped.
So we're gonna
Yeah, they took water inside. I can see a line on the screen. It's not showing on camera, but I can see a line on the screen where the water level came up on the side. Right up under the windows.
The water line is heading on the stroke.
Oh my God, his car got flooded. Holy cow. Lot to be said for a non-electric vehicle because this thing was still running after taking water. Impressive. Hi. Yep, people got flooded bad down over here on the river. And this just gives you an idea how high the water kind of still is, because it shouldn't really be that close to that seawall area. Yeah, it's rough down here, no lie.
It's just about 12 inches.
Yeah, bottom of that got damaged, and some of their siding's probably gonna buckle off, it looks like, maybe, but... Oy vey. Florida's got an awful lot to do. Okay guys, so this is just part of the press conference that was given out at Bradenton Beach on Anna Maria Island by Governor DeSantis yesterday, which would be the 28th, I think. And he was live out there yesterday afternoon. And this, I've only got parts of this press conference in here. You can see the entire thing on any number of the news organizations that were there. I know that ABC had people there. I know Fox had people there. I think Spectrum had people there. So this should be widely available online. And like I said, this is only part of it. There is much more that I didn't include because it was just going to make this too long.
If you came across the bridge, you see all these dump trucks, massive numbers of trucks to get the sand and haul it away. And I think what they're going to do, we're going to store the sand, and then if folks here need it for beach renourishment or something in the future, then they can use it for beach renourishment. But there's a massive amount of sand. They've been able to move some of it off the roadways, but they're going to have to take all this sand. And in some areas, the sand was 5 feet of sand. I mean, can you imagine that? That's pretty incredible. And I have not seen this much sand in any other part that I visited so far. In the aftermath of this storm. So this was really significant. So they are going to do that. They're going to fix this part of the road and get it back open. And we think that that's important to be able to go. I know parts of this stretch are open for residents. I know others are going to be soon. You know, that's not obviously the decision of the state. We just want to make sure everything is functioning so that people can get back. I mean, we want people to be able to get back to their homes and businesses as soon as possible. So the goal is 5 days. You know, I always tell them try to do better than that. But that work has been undergone. As soon as we saw the damage, they went and moved to get this done. So I want to thank Jared and his team for doing that.
I have footage that was shared from one of our county commissioners. What I'm going to do is lay over parts of the press conference from Governor DeSantis at the same time in order to try to get the movie condensed a little bit, because these separate individual clips are stringing it out kind of long for CapCut. But there are some important numbers in there that I would like for you guys to hear. One is for how to send donations to the state disaster relief fund. This isn't Red Cross. This isn't any national place. You don't know where it's going to go. This money goes through this fund to organizations right here in Florida, nowhere else. This is to help Floridians, to help people recover from this. So that information will be there from the governor, and the emergency management operations guy is going to give some information as well about reconnecting with people. There's a lot of people right now that still don't have power. They don't have cell phones. They don't, you know, if you can't charge it because your car got swamped and you haven't had power in 4 days, you're effectively probably just about cut off, unless you had spare battery packs to be charging all of that just to stay in touch. And who knows if the towers out on the islands are in any kind of shape. Okay, so he is advising for people to get a hold of the Red Cross, to contact the Red Cross if you are trying to find someone and you have had no communication and you have no idea where they're at. They're saying that the Red Cross is the best in the country at that. So that information is in there too. Now, I don't have numbers for right around here just yet. I don't think they know just yet exactly how high things got, but this is consistent with what we were seeing out at Bayshore, over on the river. Everything looks to have been 6 feet of water. That's just how it looks, and it smashed records. This is storm surge, and I've slowed this clip down, on its way in, so you can get the idea. The whole ocean just comes up. And why? Well, because we were on the backside of the southwest winds. But look, when we're level to Tampa, and what happens here? We have gone here. See that weird little overlay, that little spot? I'm about to put a circle around it, because that's the point where we went from a 3 to a 4 in category, and things just ramped up. Now, it's going to be kind of hard looking at this footage from Commissioner Bearden's page. You're not going to necessarily have your bearings with where you are with some of this stuff because of the water and everything. But this is over by Holmes Beach and up in Anna Maria a little ways over here. And there was still standing water in there when they went out to do their damage assessment and look at the storm surge levels. This is not that far from where like the Ugly Grouper and stuff like that is on Anna Maria Island. All right. And you can see there's water everywhere. Even just a couple of inches of it is enough to create havoc. Never mind getting it up into your homes. And we could see water lines in a few of these videos too, where the levels had gotten to. You can see the flood level on that car. So yes, storm surge was a enormous part of this. The winds drove a bunch of water. When you get southwest water against the western Gulf, it can't drain and it can't go anywhere and it can't escape, which means it's going over land. Many people that stayed reported it was like the bay and the Gulf had a party in the middle on top of us. That's how a number of people have put it, and it's the same all over. Of course, we had some fires too. So here we see one of the houses that burned out there. This has happened in Tampa as well as a number of other places as well. You can see what surge does. It just pushes all this debris and garbage and crap up into the roads, into your houses, into your businesses. And that alone isn't even what you're looking at for Anna Maria. This is Bradenton Beach, guys. This is Bradenton Beach. The damage is unbelievable. Not only is the dune completely obliterated and gone down the whole beach, sidewalks are destroyed. Roadways are kind of messed up. So it's not just about moving sand. Look at this sinkhole that this poor fellow actually ended up in. This is one of the police cars went into that. And I mean, yeah, our lifeguard towers got tossed around and everything too. But it's the dunes. The dunes are gone. They've been thrown into the street and into people's backyards and pools. The sand is in the road everywhere. It's certainly not on the beach where it belongs, as you can clearly see. So yeah, there's going to be some repair work that needs to be done to Gulf Boulevard here all the way up. Here's some more looking at a little further down into Bradenton. We're not far from where like the traffic circle is now. This is on your way toward Coquina Beach. These are the cute little beach cottages that are on the inland side. And when I say knocked off foundation, that's what that is. That is literally, that building was knocked off its foundation by storm surge. You have to remember, this was supposedly between 6 and 8 feet of water. It may have gotten higher. I don't know if the water line readings are completely accurate. That's what everybody uses as a gauge. But it takes an incredible amount of force to do that to a building, to not only cave it in, but jar it right off its foundation. So that's what folks up and down the coastline are looking at. Feet of sand and things. We do have some other water issues going on here as well. So there's other repairs that will need to be made besides just moving sand, besides just fixing drywall and electrical outlets and smashed windows. There's infrastructure repairs that are going to need to be done throughout the area because of this. But it's staggering to see the amount of sand that was moved and the amount of push that some of these buildings actually took. It's jaw-dropping. And it's not just Anna Maria Island. Treasure Island is like this. We assume Longboat because we haven't seen any footage from Longboat yet. We know Siesta Key got messed up. We know Lido got messed up. That's the force is tremendous. That's why they tell us to get out of the way if we're low lying. And here's another look at this one, the little green cottage down there, and that turquoise one I think is so cute. So this is the same. Here we are in the traffic circle in downtown Bradenton of historic Bridge Street. And boy, if I didn't know better, it looks to me like there's things missing. Like maybe there's a couple of things that have actually been kind of torn out of there. So here we are looking at Bradenton Beach again one more time. This is the area between Holmes Beach and over at Coquina Beach. And following Adalia had lost a good bit of sand, had gotten scoured pretty hard. The Debbie flooding and the sand movement wasn't anything like this, like what we're seeing for Helene. It's jaw-dropping. It's just to know how far up the coast this all extends, that there's so many communities that are looking at exactly this kind of cleanup and mess. You don't think that you can come back from it, but Florida proves time and time again that you can clean it up, you can fix it up, you can recover from it. Not saying that it's easy. We all know down in Fort Myers 2 years later, Sanibel 2 years later after Ian, that they're still looking at things that are boarded up and not quite fixed yet. And that may be the case for here too. And there's no rushing this process. I mean, you have to do what you have to do to get things cleaned up. Now, the governor mentioned something about saving the sand and storing the sand for beach renourishment later on. In my mind, if you know that sand came off that beach, clean it, sift it, put it right back where it was. Because otherwise, we're going to be arguing with the Army Corps of Engineers again and looking for easements and signatures and every other thing. It almost seems simpler if the ocean just pushed all this sand in for us. Maybe we should take it and reuse it right where it came from.
And I'll let Jared talk a little bit more in detail, but I think if you look at this Gulf Boulevard, there's a number of spots that are going to need to be addressed. And so that's what they're doing. And some of it is structural. Most of it is just massive amounts of sand. But either way, it's going to require this job to get it done. And then we'll hear from the FEMA director. We've reopened the Florida Disaster Fund. So this is a private fund. This is a tax-deductible charitable contribution that you can make. It's a partnership with our partners in the private sector, other non-government groups who work to help people when things like this happen. And so FloridaDisasterFund.org, you can make a donation there. That's been used in the past to do things like fund meals, help people get essentials, just things that are necessary when you have folks that have been displaced. If you need any information, non-emergency information, you can call the State Assistance Information Line at 1-800-342-3557. Don't use that to report an emergency, but if you have questions about information, there's a wide variety of issues that pop up, you can call that line. So thanks to everybody who's been working. People did take this storm seriously. You know, it's pretty incredible that you could have a storm that's 100 miles offshore and yet cause this type of damage. And that's just the reality. And people, I think by and large, were prepared for it. I know your local folks were really working hard, and Kevin and his team were working hard to be prepared as well. So now we've got to fix stuff, get people back up on their feet, and make sure that we're able to bounce back. But I would just say for folks here, there's a lot of damage, but there's no question you're going to be able to bounce back. What I saw in Taylor, I saw the ground zero. Even there, as bad as that was, they're going to come back. It's just going to take a lot of grit. It's going to take a lot of determination. It's going to require resiliency. It's not easy, but it will. This is just too nice an area not to. So this road will be one thing that is done. There's going to be a lot more that'll be done, and we'll get people back going in a good direction again. Okay, Kevin Guthrie.
State Emergency Response Team continues to work on search and rescue operations. If you need reunification, and this is something that's been coming in quite a bit lately, is I can't make contact with a loved one. The American Red Cross is simply the best at that in the entire world. They were set up for that. That's something that we're asking you to call the Red Cross on their reunification line. That's 1-800-RED-CROSS or 1-800-733-2767. Again, that's 1-800-733-2767. Sorry.